Welcome to Lesson 1, the mindset behind offering local SEO services. And if you're anything like me, you're screaming at the computer screen, get to it, Sam. But hold on, this is not another clickbaity, get rich quick scheme. We are going to take our time. And that means we have to start with something like mindset. Also, it's 2024. What kind of online talking head would I be if I didn't discuss mindset before we talked about adding another service to your online business? But don't worry, we won't be singing any mantras or lighting any sage, although if that's your cup of tea, your prerogative, feel free. In this lesson, we are just going to break down the mindset that we need to have before we offer local SEO services. And I'm sticking this at the front of the GBP Expert Course because I think more people will dig into this class first. And I think it's super important that we have our mindset right. So let's start off by introducing myself. Why the heck should you listen to me? Well, first things first, you probably shouldn't listen to me. Let's list these things off. My degree is in biology, not marketing, so you shouldn't listen to me. I've also not been doing that, been doing SEO for this long, so you probably shouldn't listen to me. Also, there's really no formal training that I have to be offering this. I just simply have my iPhone pointed at me and you have somehow given me money already. Or maybe you're looking at the free preview. Don't worry, you have not been duped, because here are the reasons why you should listen to me. Even though all of that stuff almost seems like you shouldn't listen to me, there's one skill I have gained along the way, and that is being able to learn things quickly. I was showing up to networking events, hearing that people wanted to rank higher on Google, and when I hit those feast or famine phases while I was a web designer, I was like, man, I got to figure out this SEO stuff. And I did. First for myself, then for my first couple clients for free, because like Hormozy says, you suck at the service when you first start. I did it for too little money for the next couple clients, and now I do it regularly. And my recurring revenue went from like a couple $100s to a few $1,000s. I've had a couple 5-figure months, and I'm on track to hit that first 6 figures. And my goal is to help you reach your first 6 figures. And so if you want to listen to somebody that's just a little ahead of you on the journey and knows how to, I don't want to say speak down to you, but like I know where you're at because I was just there a couple months ago, then follow me along on this journey. If you want somebody that's charging way more to give you information that may or may not be outdated, by all means, let me know. I'll get you a refund. Actually, I don't really know how the refund policy works. Read the terms and conditions before you pay for the course. But anyway, I just want to make sure that you have a good fit and you're like, okay, I like what this guy has to offer, and so I want to stick with it. So if you're still in the free part of the course at this point and you're like still feeling it out, that's cool. Stick around. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of this, and I think it's going to be well worth the dinero you invest, and hopefully you will see not only a return on your investment, but you actually get your business clicking to that point where you have some stability. All right, that's enough about me. Let's start to talk about clients. This course is aimed at people that want to serve clients. So if we're offering Google Business Profile Management or local SEO in general, we have to remember one thing and one thing only. Clients want more, really more of everything, but in particular, they want more clients, customers, patients, whatever they call them, they want more. And that's why they're probably talking to us. They're typically in one of two boats. Either A, they haven't really tried digital marketing yet, and they're looking, they're digital marketing curious. They're looking for their first. Or they're using somebody right now and they're having a terrible experience. And that's where we come in. But if you know anything about digital marketing, you know there are a ton of options out there. There's social media, there's email marketing, there's paid ads, there's carrier pigeons. You can just hire people to walk around with your brand name on your t-shirt. There are all these different ways that you can get your name out there in the analog world and the digital world. So why are we focusing on local SEO? Well, it's because it's kind of a proven strategy that works. There's really only 3 things that matter for local SEO. One is a Google Business Profile, which is what this course is entirely about after this lesson. Number 2 is on-page SEO optimizations, which we talk about in the masterclass in depth. And then the next part is off-page SEO. That's building authority through things like backlinks. I'm going to say that word a lot, so get ready for it. And we talk about that in the Local SEO Master Course, the Local SEO Masterclass, also available as a part of the Local SEO Academy. So those are the 3 steps to doing local SEO: GBP, on-page SEO, off-page SEO, building authority, whatever you want to call it. If you say getting backlinks, people get scared, so don't lead with that. That's the formula, and honestly, I think it's not that hard to learn. People try to complicate it, but don't worry, we're going to keep it simple here. It's not going to be easy. There's a lot to be done, and you want to do this practically. But as long as you follow everything, you'll be fine. But if we focus on these things, the Google Business Profile, the website, what you tend to get is this measurable return on investment that small business owners like to see. Now you're going to find out I'm not a big fan of doing things like conversion tracking. I think it's kind of a waste of time. And so I usually tell my clients something like this: hey, I could spend all this time to set up conversion tracking, or we can just go by feel. And if it feels like you're not getting a return on your investment, let me know and we can turn that stuff on later. Spoiler alert, none of my clients have asked me to turn that on. Now, I've had a couple clients not continue. That also happens, but it's at a way lower rate than the typical industry standard, which I'm pretty sure is less than 50%. And I think I could have saved those first couple clients by what we'll talk about next, which is setting expectations. But before we get into that, why local SEO? Well, it's because even though the internet is changing, AI is taking over everything, there's still a really good chance that there will be somebody between small businesses and search engines. Even if the search engine isn't Google, somebody will be in the middle. Right now, that's SEOs, SEO companies, SEO agencies, and we want to position ourselves right there, right now. But we want to have the mindset, this might not be what we always do. And so if you're somebody that is, a lifelong learner and you like staying at the cutting edge, then you're really going to like this industry right now, especially at this pivotal phase that we're in. But if that's not you, then you might not want to get into this. Now let's move on to that managing expectations. So some real questions I've had people ask me are, how long will it take for me to rank number 1? Well, there's a couple things about that. One, I can't promise you that I'm going to get you to rank number 1. And I always follow that up by saying, I do promise that I will work my ass off for you. And most of the time we laugh and we have a good time. But some people don't like that because they've been lied to before by companies saying, we'll get you to rank number 1. And then, well, we'll get into the scams that happen later. So people will ask, how long until I rank number 1? And they don't even have a website. Or they understand the importance of the map pack, which are like the top 3 results that show next to the map in the search engine result page. Don't worry, we'll talk a lot about the map pack if you're unfamiliar. And they don't even have the Google Business Profile claimed yet. Like, people don't even know what they're asking for. They just know that that's the end result that they want. They don't realize the process that it takes to get there. So we have to manage expectations. Yes, Google rewards activity over time. Yes, we're going to focus on the most important things for your local SEO efforts. We're not going to worry about fluff. We're not going to spend energy trying to get you these metrics that probably don't matter. But just like we have to manage expectations for our clients, we have to manage expectations for ourselves. And so that brings me to talking about a very important question. What's your why? Now, your why to offering SEO services might be something like, I heard I can make a lot of money doing this. Or you might be like, it's time for me to find that work-life balance. And I think this is the industry that can get me that. And I just want to let you know, that's probably not true. Because in the early days of offering SEO services, while there is a chance that you could make more money, it's going to take a lot of time to build up your client base to get to that point where you feel more comfortable. And so in the early days, you're just going to be trading a lot of time for not that much money. And guess what? That's the opposite of a work-life balance. So I am imploring you to find a grander why. For instance, my why is to help people. When I've sat down and taken the time to list out my core values, my number 1 core value is service. I love helping other people. I try to do it all throughout my day. I also try to make sure I'm serving myself before I serve anybody else, because if I'm not putting on my own oxygen mask, and this isn't a motivational speech, you guys get it. But when it came time to add on SEO as a service to my web design company, and then to switch gears and make SEO my primary service, I started to feel icky inside. SEO is for scammers. My name's Sam. Scam is only one letter away. Oh no. But here's the thing. You can choose how you offer SEO services. You don't have to be a scammer too, and that is not what our goal is today. We're going to try to use best practices moving forward so that way we can get great results for our clients. They'll be in love with us, they'll want to pay us, and we'll get the end results that we're hoping for. Not just for us, but also for our clients. Now that is a grander why. And the reason why I encourage you to find a grander why for your SEO services that you're offering, whether it becomes the main squeeze of your business or just this add-on service to the thing you do right now, like web design or social media management or graphic design, the grander why will get you through the hard times. I can almost predict how it's going to go. You're going to get out there, you're going to start offering these services at probably too low of prices than you should, and eventually you'll get a couple clients because you're underselling yourself. And then you're going to end up with all this work. That's great. You'll get them great results. You'll come out and then you'll start offering it for more. Then you might hit kind of a dry spell for a little bit. You'll feel some pain from that. But eventually you'll probably get up to a nice bank of clients where you're starting to trade almost all of your available working time for money. And that's scary because now you have to make a decision. Do I kick off my original clients? Do I start building up a team? Don't worry, we'll talk about all these decisions at different parts in Local SEO Academy. But I can almost guarantee, all right, my lawyers are telling me I shouldn't say that. If you have a similar result to what I had, you will go from feast or famine to more and more monthly recurring revenue as you get more clients. It's just the way it works. The calculus is different than web design or graphic design. And if you're already doing social media management, then you know what this feels like to see that number go up quickly. And if you're already an agency owner and you're just looking to offer better SEO services, then you get this. But there's going to be hard times. Maybe that new team member you hired wasn't a good fit and you're just struggling, right? And if your why is to make more money, guess what? You're going to get burnt out really quickly. But if your why is a little bit higher, maybe it's your family, your kids, helping your clients, serving your community, whatever it is, as long as it's a little bit greater than what you're doing right now, I think that can get you through the hard time. Now it's time for another difficult question. What is your end game? Now, have you ever read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Is that on the bookshelf today? No, I was actually checking it out the other day. If you've read that book, they talk about kind of the fake funeral experiment. They talk about the end game for life. But don't worry, we're not going to get that existential in this lesson. We want to talk about the end game for your business. I recently heard it said, are you building a job, a business, or an exit? And you always want to think about your exit strategy. Where does this business end? So think about it. Let's dig into the 3 options a little bit more. Building out a job would be basically you are creating like a solopreneur SEO agency. Now the pros to that are, you could probably build up to $125,000 per year, hopefully net, but probably gross would be the first number to get to, right? You're able to pay all your bills, you're feeling good, you can maybe niche down a little bit, bump up that average sale a little bit, and so your client portfolio doesn't have to be too big. Maybe you're only working like 25, 30 hours a week. You can find a pretty good balance as long as you don't set the monetary bar too high. But ultimately, this is a job. Every time you get sick, if you're unable to do the business anymore, it's gone. It's gone. Again, this could be a really good model for you, especially if you plan to do it for a short-term amount of time, for the next 3, 5, 7 years. I think that this is a pretty good strategy. I see some people doing it very successfully, so I ain't knocking you for doing that. And if that's the way you want to go, and I think this is where we all start, more power to you. The next step would be to build a business. Now when we're building a business, we're more focused on setting up the systems behind the business, because that means that you can take a step back. And that opens up the potential for the exit, which is the third thing. But in the meantime, we have to set up something that's kind of bigger than us. We have to create a thing that operates without us. Like, you can go on vacation and not check in. Like, until you get to that point, you don't really have a business. So I'll be honest with you, I don't have a business right now. But that should, I think, for most of us, be our goal. And again, if that scares you, if you want to stay in solopreneur land, that's fine. You can create a job and you can kind of niche down a little bit over time, get higher ticket clients. I think that's a perfectly good way. But probably where most of us are going to land is in the business realm, where we're running a decent business. We get to rely on people in a good way. We can build people up. We can build these teams. It's a really fun opportunity. So most of us are probably going to end up in this range, even if it's only with 1 or 2 subcontractors. That's fine. That's fine, but that's a business. You're starting to build a business there. And then the last one is exit. Exit means that we're looking for getting out of the business. So we've created this business. Now we want to get out. And even if you're not getting out right away, it's something that you're thinking about down the road. And this could be great. Maybe you get a nice payday. Maybe you're even, this is like the legacy building phase. And so maybe you're passing it on to the next generation. Who knows, right? But if you were able to sell your agency for, say, $500,000 or $1 million, like, imagine the opportunities that opens for your next business. And so it's not out of the realm of possibilities that the thing we start creating right now could become an exit several years down the road, or maybe even before that. So, like, just leave yourself open to that opportunity and really ask yourself, just in general, like, how long am I going to be doing this business? How long am I going to be doing web design and SEO? Maybe it's only 5 years. If that's the case, we need to work ourselves backwards from that point and say, how do we get to where we want to be 5 years from now? Quickly, I just want to do an example with myself. So when it comes to my why is to help people. Again, service is my primary core value. And so as long as I'm helping people, I feel fine. I feel in alignment right there. So I always feel good when I wake up, start the day, and say, don't worry, you're helping people. Even when I get stressed out by that email from that client, that client. Okay, I had to find my alignment right there. Don't worry. But at the end of the day, I know I'm serving that person. It's okay. Let's see how I can lead with kindness. And now when it comes to endgame, that's a good question, right? I'm only 33 years old, no wife, no kids. And that means that I have a lot of flexibility right now. I could foreseeably do this, forever, right? I could do this for the next 40 years. I could retire 73, but who knows if SEO lasts that long. And so realistically, I'm of the mind where I could be flexible. I don't mind being that interface between small businesses and search engines as long as possible, kind of ride that train out. But I also feel like, maybe 10 years from now, I might be wanting to do something different. So I think if I look at the 5-year mark, I definitely want to be in business mode, if this is still a tenable business strategy. And probably 10 years from now, I'm probably looking around the exit strategy. So I should be thinking about, how do I build this up to the point where it would make sense for somebody to want to buy this 10 years from now? And then halfway between that, how do I make sure I actually have a business in place and not just a job? Because right now it's mostly a job with a lean and mean team around me. How can I keep pulling myself further out of the business so that I'm actually in business mode? So that's my challenge to you for this module, is to really think. And I'm not going to make you fill out worksheets or anything like that. Like, do the amount of reflection that you need to do. For me, I like to take a break after a module and just reflect on what the module was about and think like, okay, especially for this one, this is a thinker, right? How can, what is my why? What is my end game? And you just heard it right here. I want you to do the same experiment for yourself and just say like, okay, how does this line up? How is this going to help me? And I think this will give you kind of a better path to follow as you move forward. So now that we know the clients only want one thing, we know a little bit more about local SEO, how to manage expectations for clients and for ourselves. Hopefully you're starting to think about your why, your end game. I encourage you, stop watching modules for a second, take a break, go enjoy life, because really our end game isn't about the business, right? It's about connecting with the humans around us, being involved with our community, and just trying to be the best human we can each day. But then once you get done with that, let's be real, we got to make some money. So let's head over to module 2 and let's understand why Google Business Profile is the most important thing we need to do for local SEO, even though it might not be the thing we spend the most time doing. I'll catch you in that lesson.